Good afternoon. This is part 2, the continuing saga of our beloved Grandma Maria Lane. Brought to you by Barbara Darwish and Carol Knapp, members of the Committee of Seven, a division of the Fair Housing Coalition fighting for the rights of housing providers within the city of Los Angeles. Carol, it's good to see you today.
Thank you. It's good to see you.
She's a great and wonderful gal, and she's fought very, very hard for Grandma Lane, and she knows the ins and outs of Grandma Lane's case. And what I wanted to tell you also is Grandma is going on 88 years old, and at this time in her life, she does not need this problem. She's a wonderful woman, and Carol, I'd like you to explain to all what's been happening with Grandma.
The Los Angeles Housing Department has been harassing Grandma Lane for at least 6 years that I know of. She has a rental unit on her property, the front house, and then she has a duplex that's owner-occupied and a garage conversion legally converted 40 years ago into a room at the back of the property. The only rental is the front house.
Okay.
She, at the time, though, she was renting out one of the units in the duplex, and she was, unfortunately, she rented the unit to an illegal alien who was a gangbanger. And this woman put her teenage children in that unit with no supervision. They were gang affiliated, and to make it short, they destroyed the unit that Grandma Lane had just refurbished to the tune of $100,000. Those children destroyed. She could not evict them because they put her in REAP, rent escrow account program, where they go to the tenant and they offer to reduce the rent if the tenant will agree to pay the rent to the city instead of to the landlord.
Okay, so this rent escrow account program is one of this is a situation within the Los Angeles Housing Department, which is rent control, and it's an entity of the city, correct?
That's correct.
So basically, they're stealing property owners' rent and putting it into their own piggy bank, which they call an escrow account, which is illegal, correct?
Yes, and this law was started in about 1987, and it was supposed to address the most severe slum conditions, Barbara, but and to collect the rents so that the landlord would be forced into fixing whatever was wrong, code violations. Well, that has been abused. Grandma Lane complied with all orders of the housing department. And later, I want to tell you how they started criminal prosecution against her unlawfully.
Well, this is what I'm very interested in, because I had the same thing happen to me. It went for 2 years, and I was prosecuted by Michael Duran. And eventually, he had to drop the case, and I have a judgment against the city of Los Angeles, and it's all because of Michael Duran, Deputy City Attorney. It's preposterous that he's allowed to even do this. I'm surprised that he has not been disbarred. But I want to go further with Grandma Lane, and I want you to tell me what Michael Duran now is doing to Grandma Lane.
Okay, well, I believe it's a retaliation for starting a lawsuit. But what they're doing now is
you mean my lawsuit?
No, a lawsuit Grandma Lane had started.
I see.
The inspector came to the property, no 24-hour notice, 2-week notice, which is necessary in order to conduct an inspection. Came without notice, walked onto the property, and started walking into the owner-occupied units without consent, without a warrant, without probable cause that there was anything going on in there. They sent the notice to appear. They started prosecution, even though she complied with everything they had told her to do in the only rental unit on the property, the front house. She did more than they asked. They wanted her to revent a heater. She replaced the whole heater. But when this inspector came, the last inspector, he walked onto the property, entered the owner-occupied units without consent, walked into her legal garage conversion in the back, and told her that she had to remove the plumbing because it didn't have a permit. Well, it did have a permit. She had a permit from 40 years ago, but the DWP, as you know, had a big fire several years ago, and a lot of documents, thousands of documents were burned. Among them, Grandma Lane's permit and certificate of occupancy for that little garage conversion.
No, it's the building and safety or the DWP, or was it a combination?
No, it's the LA Housing Department.
No, the permits were with the
LA Department of Building and Safety.
Okay,
Yes.
so we'll get straight
Yes.
that out. Okay, so right now, my understanding is that they have sent her a letter
Yes.
to come to criminal court,
Yes.
that she is going to be arraigned on certain charges. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so you see, a woman is 88, nearly 88 years old, and wow, let's give a big hand for Michael Duran. He is going to prosecute an 88-year-old grandma because of some legal unit on her property. So let me understand. So it's a grandma. She's going to go to jail. She's going to have a mug shot. Is she going to share a cell with Charles Manson or the Hillside Strangler? Will the pharmacy deliver her heart medicine? Because I know it's very sick.
Not only that, Barbara.
Excuse me, it is kind of a laughing matter. It's a sick laughing matter.
Right.
And, okay, then I want to ask you a question. If for some reason, because her blood pressure is very high, what happens if she dies in jail due to the stress that Michael Duran has caused her? Who will be the responsible party for her death?
Well, I'd like to...
But I wanted to say, this is what upsets me. I want to know if, God forbid, she passes away in jail. It's all due to Michael Duran, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes. Well, I don't want to give Michael Duran the whole credit, Barbara, because he's only one of many, but he's the one that we've decided to focus on at this point. But I wanted to mention that the notice to appear in criminal court, they sent it to the house across the street. And only because the neighbor knew her did she get that notice to appear. By the way, for the 6 years that she was harassed by the housing department, they never sent the complaints, notices to comply to her address.
Gee, isn't that interesting? So it's a miracle that she even is getting notice of anything.
Correct. So it's a due process violation, severe due process violation. And yet they're continuing to prosecute her criminally, forcing her to hire a lawyer, spend a lot of money.
88 years old.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
By the way, I don't know if you knew this, but Grandma Lane has a history of working with Martin Luther King. She marched with Cesar Chavez. She's been a community member, very active in helping her community for the past 50 years. She's a naturalized citizen. She came to this country to work, and work she did for all her life to get this little triplex, this little bit of property, so she could relax in her old age. Well, now, because of the housing department, she's got a big mortgage on her previously unencumbered property, so she's losing. She has a reverse mortgage because she can't pay the mortgage.
So it may be that she could lose her home.
Absolutely.
Where would she live? With Michael Duran. Maybe she should share Michael Duran's house. It's funny though, I did some research on Michael Duran, and he's a graduate actually of Bolt Law School at Berkeley.
Figures.
And he's 26 years, he's been a lawyer, and you would think that he would have a bit more smarts than to prosecute an 88-year-old grandmother for nothing.
Yeah, it's essentially nothing.
It is absolutely
malicious prosecution.
Yeah, it's absolutely malicious, and it's unbelievable. But we're gonna work hard to make sure that this all goes away. And
Barbara, I wanted you to also be aware, and those of you who are watching this, that the city attorney, Carmen Trutanich, was advised of all these violations of due process and other civil rights. And he chose and continues to choose to ignore it. So he is just as guilty as Michael Duran. We need to get rid of these people. They need to go.
They're just beyond unbelievable, terrible people, and
elder abusers.
Yeah, elder abuse, and much more than that. But I'm going to support Maria in everything that I can, and just good luck.
Yes.
Good luck. We need good luck.
Yes.
Good luck. And thank you for listening to Carol Knapp and Barbara Darwish, and we'll be speaking with you soon again and reporting on what's going to be happening to Maria Lane. Thank you.
Thank you.